as we enter into this negotiation process with the Kyoto Protocol and set forth those standards, how could you just touch base on that, on how that's going to affect us as individuals and as a society? One other question. Mr. T. Boone Pickens, would it be a possibility where I could get a picture with you after?
Well, let me say, as a person who sponsored legislation in favor of a direct carbon tax, I thought that was the correct way for us to go, to recognize and to be upfront with America that what we needed to do was put a tax up front on the cost of the well, and then pass the savings along, the tax credits along, to individuals who would be impacted. I think that's the fairest, most straightforward. I can remember meeting with then chairman of UTC, George David, and saying what we need to make sure that we're doing for industry is to give them certainty, not the fluctuation and uncertainty that exists. And what we need to do for consumers is to ultimately pass along to them, by virtue of the savings, by virtue of tax credits, something that they'll be able to do to help to reduce their bill. Now, a cap and trade system that certainly whose goal both here and internationally could achieve the same ends, I think it's a little bit more left up to too much speculation. It's hard, as Boone was saying before, when you have the international community in the room, and there's a conference in Copenhagen this December 15th. I believe the President is going to go. We are scheduled to go, but we may be still dealing with health care, which at the moment preoccupies our interest of the Congress. But needless to say, the need to deal with the whole issue of carbon in the atmosphere is one, I think, that has driven Mr. Pickens when he talks about, and did before our caucus, about the impact that's going to be here on his children and grandchildren and their children. And so preserving the environment, if you talk to our military, they will tell you it's a national security issue. It's a national security issue because of what happens around the globe when we see these climate changes that produce the famine, the poverty, the disease, that in this shrinking global economy and world has no boundaries. And so if we don't deal with this up front and address this issue, if we want to defer to another generation, if we want to kick the can down the road, then we can. We can all pat ourselves on the back, or we can face up to the reality at the end. And I think it's long overdue. I commend the President for his 3 pillars and striking forward on both energy, education, and health care. They are all inextricably linked to our economic recovery, survival, and national security. And I think Mr. Pickens makes that the case eloquently when he talks about national security in this issue and says, we're exporting dollars abroad that are going to both provide, we first have to pay for our troops to be abroad, and then the monies that we send abroad work their way to the madrasas and into the hands of the very enemies who are going after our men and women abroad as well. This has got to end. This got to end. I want to thank Mr. Pickens for coming. Another great American, Mark Twain. We have a small book about Mark Twain, a lot of his sayings. And certainly today, I think everybody here got a taste of both Mr. Pickens' folksy way of explaining things. But I hope what you come away with is the incredible knowledge that he has in this subject matter. And his way to transmit that knowledge to everyday Americans in the way that he sells. Thank you, T. Boone Pickens.
This book, see if the quote is in here by Mark Twain when he described a gold mine. He said it's a hole in the ground with the liar on the top.
That's a picture for him, I suppose.